Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Please wait.
Even liberals have denounced you, Mr. Jowhari.
I don't know what you're talking about. Can you kindly wait?
You are associated with someone who is under investigation by CSIS, who has contributed to your campaign. What do you have to say about that?
I've responded to that question already.
Oh, okay. Can you respond right now, sir?
That was in a social gathering, and that fund has been.
When was that picture taken? Hey, how you doing, officer?
How are you?
Good. Are you here for me?
We've been called for something.
Okay. Okay, then
Stop.
why are you walking so close to me?
Stop, because you're in my area. Okay?
Well, you told me to come outside and I acquiesced to your demand, Mr.
I've
Jowhari.
answered all your questions. It's better that you stop.
Maybe this is a case for a detective or something to look into. I mean,
You're telling me CSIS is investigating. I think it's above our pay scale.
okay, okay then. How you doing, sir? David Menzies with Rebel News. I'd like to talk to you.
Private property, right? You realize this is a private property?
I got an email saying everybody was welcome.
Yeah, but not in the building. It could be outside.
Oh, okay then. What are your links to Al Jazeera on Aggie?
Can you kindly wait outside?
Sir, why do you support the Islamo-fascist regime of Iran as opposed to Canada?
You've asked me that question a number of times, and I've told you I don't. Please wait.
Even liberals have denounced you, Mr. Jowhari. David Menzies for Rebel News here in Richmond Hill, Ontario. Well, folks, I'm at the meet and greet for Majid Jowhari. He is the Member of Parliament for the riding of Richmond Hill. And he is someone who has, well, let's say he has more baggage than the arrivals terminal of Pearson International Airport. Mr. Jowhari is on the record, in his own words, as supporting the Iranian regime. Mr. Jowhari has some connections with people that are under CSIS investigations, one of whom, by the way, is a contributor to Mr. Jowhari's campaign. And it is very curious and it's very disturbing how someone in our great dominion of Canada is actually a supporter of the Islamo-fascist regime that is Iran. Richmond Hill has a significant Iranian population. Many of those people denounce Mr. Jowhari. Even liberals have denounced Mr. Jowhari. And I thought I would drop by to ask him some questions. He usually gets tongue-tied when I come up to him at other events. And this is a very important writing indeed. In 2019, Mr. Jowhari won it by 112 votes over the Conservative Kostas Minigakis. So this is certainly a riding that is in play for the upcoming September 20th election. I'll go into the facility and see if Mr. Jowhari wants to give me some answers to some tough questions.
I don't know what you're talking about. Can you kindly wait?
You are associated with someone who is under investigation by CSIS, who has contributed to your campaign. What do you have to say about that?
I've responded to that question already.
Oh, okay. Can you respond right now, sir?
That was in a social gathering, and that fund has been.
When was that picture taken? Mr. Jowhari, why have liberals themselves denounced you?
Not, sir. Thank you very much.
Mr. Jowhari, are you pleased with what's happened in Afghanistan, given that this plays into the hands of the Iranian regime?
I don't know about that, but I'm not pleased what has happened in Afghanistan. Proud of our government for supporting bringing 20,000 Afghanis and all the people who have helped us over the last 20 years with the translation and support at the embassy.
Yeah, but we've left them hung out to dry, Mr. Jowhari. How can you say we're supporting them?
Well, we're supporting by bringing here. I'm not sure what you're talking about when you're saying we've let them to hang dry.
Well, there's numerous reports of people that that are our allies that can't get out of Afghanistan. So this individual, Al-Rezi Onagi, who has contributed to your campaign, he's under investigation by CSIS.
Well, I'm not going to comment about somebody who's under investigation, as you claim, alleged. So,
well, isn't that serious, given that he's donated to your campaign?
The donation was small. It was part of a bigger group, and I'm sure the investigation would lead to the result. The donation has been returned.
Well, what about, again, these connections you have with the Iranian regime? You have had...
any connection with the Iranian regime. You keep going back, and you've been doing this for the last 6 years, and you better stop, because I denounce any type of connection with the Islamic Republic.
You've congratulated the Iranian Republic for their election.
No, I did not congratulate them for election. I said the elected government. I said the elected government of Iran at that time was responsible for the safety of people who have come there to protest in peace.
That's an interesting interpretation of that tweet.
And that's a fact. And
Do you believe that government is elected?
No.
Then why would you use the term elected government?
There is a difference between the regime and the elected government, and that elected government was elected by people, so they have fiduciary responsibility to protect the people who are out there protesting and voicing theirs.
But Mr. Jowhari,
I've responded to your question many times.
But you've had meetings in Canada with members of the Iranian regime, correct?
You already have the answers to all those questions. It's time for you to stop harassing.
I'm not harassing.
Yes, you are, sir.
You're running for office, and you've got a lot of baggage here.
I do not have. This is what you're claiming, and those claims over the last 6 years have not proven any one iota of truth. I've been greenlit 3 times, and it's time for you guys to stop.
Well,
it's time for you to stop.
Why would you have meetings in Canada with members of the Iranian regime?
To stop. It's time for you to stop.
Well, I think it's time to answer questions.
I've answered the question many times. It's time for you to stop.
Can you clarify your answer, please?
For you to stop.
Okay, then
Stop.
why are you walking so
Stop.
close to me?
Stop, because you're in my area. Okay?
Well, you told me to come outside, and I acquiesced to your demand, Mr.
I've
Jowhari.
answered all your questions. It's better that you stop.
Actually, no, you haven't answered my questions.
I've answered all the questions over many years. Okay, you've harassed me in Ottawa. You've harassed me in front of my house. You've harassed my family.
No.
Stop.
How have I harassed your family? I think that's another.
You got your clip, right?
What's that?
You have your. I'm not making it public.
Oh, you were talking to me.
No, I was just.
So, Mr. Jowhari, are you gonna? I thank you for the time you've given me, but are you going to answer these questions, or are you going to retreat?
Stop. You gotta stop.
Okay, then. What about resuming diplomatic relations with the Taliban in Afghanistan, Mr. Jowhari? Now, as you can see, folks, they've told me to leave the premises, these people in the Team Jowhari shirts. And yet they're kind of shadowing me, but I'm on a sidewalk. There's the proof in the pudding. Sure is there's salt water in the Pacific. The police have been called. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4 police cars so far. Hard to believe it's for little old me, but let's see what goes down. I'm absolutely 100% certain I didn't break any laws this time. Hey, how you doing, officer?
How are you?
Good. Are you here for me?
We've been called for something.
Okay. What did they tell you? Do you know?
We got a complaint that there's videotaping and people being harassed, so we just came by to investigate.
I have not harassed anyone. I was just asking questions. I'm on a public sidewalk. And, if that's a crime in Canada today, I guess we're closer to Tehran than Toronto.
Again, no one's accused you here of a crime, so.
Sure. Well, I won't run away. I'll let you guys investigate. Why such a huge police presence? I know in York Region we have murder, sexual assaults, human trafficking. I can't believe all you guys would come out for little old me.
Well, we'll come out as many people as it takes, sir. We don't know what we're going into until we actually know the story and the situation, right?
You could take me one-on-one. I'll tell you that. You look like a big, strong guy.
I appreciate it, but that's not something that any one of us want to do. So.
All right.
We got to figure out what's up, and then we'll go from there. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, officer. I might put in a 911 call on Majid Jowhari. I mean, can you imagine? We have an elected representative of the Liberal Party of Canada who supports the Iranian regime. Maybe this is a case for a detective or something to look into. I mean,
You're telling me CSIS is investigating. I think it's above our pay scale.
Okay then. Like I said, I don't know why they even called you in the first place, because I acquiesced to their demands, right?
No,
But was that the supervisor that was just on, officer? Or?
Yep.
Yes, wait, sorry. Can I read the number?
Like we said before, people are allowed to call, people are allowed to vent, and that's okay.
Okay,
You
then.
call us, we'll come and we'll do the same thing. It's okay. We're here for anybody regardless.
There's freedom of the press somewhere. It's written, I think.
I'm gonna take off, but listen, best of luck.
Thank
to
you, guys.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, very good, ma'am. Is it Supervisor Kassam?
Yes.
Oh, okay then. Yeah,
Me, it's David Menzies, right?
it is indeed, yes. And I'm just curious, Supervisor, what did they say? When I went to interview Mr. Jowhari, I was eventually told you're on private property. And that's when I left, and I've been on a sidewalk ever since.
Yes, actually, they essentially were consistent with what you're telling me.
Okay.
And I did speak to them about, if they weren't comfortable with the questions you were asking, to ask you to.
Oh, they definitely weren't comfortable with the questions I was asking.
Okay, well, I wasn't there, sir. But anyways, I was hearing their version, and I had my officers come and talk to you.
Yeah.
So, on that note, that's really it. They just essentially said that you came, you asked some questions, and they weren't comfortable with them, and then they asked you to leave, and you left.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well-
I think that's the end of it, really. And I just spoke to them about moving forward. You know what I mean? And your, you're allowed to be here. So that's it. I appreciate your time, and like I said, I've spoken to them, and that's it. Have a good day.
Well, thank you so much. I want to thank you for your time. I'm just sort of embarrassed by the amount of police resources. I think you could probably take me. You don't need all these other guys.
No, that's okay. You know what? Actually, believe it or not, it's actually a benefit. Sometimes we get our members that know some of the people that we work with in the community. Okay. So I think, to be honest with you, the officers that you spoke with, they actually know, they have a very good rapport with you, and they actually even volunteered to say, I know Mr. Menzies, and I'd be happy to talk to him. So I think that's really what it was, and we were being respectful to that.
Well, there you have it, folks. Once again, Mr. Jowhari says he has answered all the questions I have for him. But that is his answer, that he's answered the questions without supplying an actual tangible answer. I once again gave him an opportunity to set the record straight, given his connections with certain questionable people and, of course, the odious Iranian regime. And again, he takes the silent treatment before running away and getting his handlers to kick me off private property. And I acquiesced to that, as you saw. But what is it about this Liberal Party of Canada that has such a soft spot in their hearts for terrorists? I mean, this is the party that gave Omar Khadr that $10.5 million check for hurt feelings. Omar, our very own homegrown al-Qaeda terrorist who murdered and wounded 2 American servicemen. And then we had, of course, Justin Trudeau himself inviting Jaspal Atwal, a member of a Sikh extremist group who was convicted of attempted murder. Yeah, he invited him along to that disastrous India trip a couple of years back. What was Prime Minister Trudeau thinking on that one? And of course, we have Marc Garneau last week saying that it's too early to tell if we'll resume diplomatic relations with the Taliban in Afghanistan. Can you imagine the Taliban? This is a terrorist group. These are barbarians. And our spaceman in Ottawa is thinking about resuming diplomatic relations with that country now under that so-called government. Disgraceful. In any event, come September 20th, I sincerely hope that the good people of Richmond Hill are going to vote for a candidate who puts the interests of our great Dominion, Canada, ahead of the interests of an Islamo-fascist regime, namely Iran. Let's see what happens on that day. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, now with the federal election campaign off and running, do you trust the media party to give you the straight goods in terms of what's happening out on the campaign trail? Oh, I sure don't. Can you do me a great favor? Can you go to realreporters.ca? That's realreporters.ca. And if you're able to, make a donation that will go towards paying our expenses. We need your support now more than ever during this crucial election. Thank you so much.